Fathers.
Yeah. Dear Reverend Fathers, religious sisters, members from the teaching fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, and young student scholars. Good evening to you all. At the outset, I would like to appreciate you and thank you for making clear this evening for this national webinar on Shine from Within, Developing a Healthy Self-Concept, jointly organized by the Department of Political Science, Andhra Loyola College, and SA Youth Empowering Service Jesuits. Friends, people who shine from within don't need a spotlight. Henry Longfellow says, we judge ourselves by what we feel capable of doing, while others judge us by what we have already done. A self-concept can be defined as an all-encompassing awareness you had of yourself in the past, the awareness you have of yourself in the present, and the expectations you have of yourself at future time. With these few words about the self-concept, I would like to invite Reverend Father D.M. Victor Manuel, the principal of Andhra Loyola College, to welcome the webinar participants. Reverend Father D.M. Victor Emmanuel, the principal, Andhra Loyola College.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to welcome Sherly and Father Libin to this webinar, and the leadership of Diaker and Father Bala, and the anchor Sai Bhaskaran, and all other lecturers and students who are participating in this useful seminar. Because unless you know yourself, you cannot know others. The most difficult part of life when you conduct a function is vote of thanks. Because you are supposed to are given a job of proposing vote of thanks for the college day, it is an enormous task. You have to mention the names of everyone. If you forget one lecturer, you will come and bombard you afterwards. I did this, you did not mention me. So I have experience of 27 years I'm working in this college. Every time somebody will come, even a small function, we did not mention my father. Sir, in general, I said, no, in general only, sir, did not mention my name. So what to do now? Yes, sir, next time I'll mention. What next time is gone? I'm going to retire. Going to retire, so I have to mention. So I have to write every name. At the end, somebody will give a slip. Please mention this. Oh, sorry, I have forgotten this name and I mentioned. So sorry that you have forgotten or sorry to mention, we don't know. So it is very difficult because we have to recognize the people. They want to be recognized by others. If they don't recognize what happens, you make them recognize. You boost yourself. I know this man, I know that man, I know this, I know this, I know this. Over boosting ourselves so that others recognize. Crying or shouting, small children do. And we also do same thing sometimes, getting angry and throwing something. We do these kind of things, boosting ourselves or being recognized. These are both the sicknesses. A man or woman who knows herself is the best person of happiness. We never depend upon others' opinion. There was a person who might have known, and I was in a home for the aged. A similar thing happened there. You might have heard this also. That's why I'm narrating that instance together. I was there 1 month during my internship. Old people were there, and I used to help them wash and give them bath. It was the first time I'm giving bath to old people. Never I touched people like that. It was a touching experience for me because they cannot manage themselves. There was a person who was going, because that particular person, Chetpat in Madras, both a man wing is there, women wing is there. So there was a person, this side, a husband one side, and a wife the other side. Wife has gone mad. Mad in the sense, doesn't remember anything. She's just like vegetable life. Every day, evening, around 6 o'clock, every day you'll go there. And they're not supposed to enter that side. There's a gate, and you'll go and wait there. And she'll come, somebody will pull, she cannot walk. Somebody will put her in a wheelchair and come and sit there. And you will be looking at her, that's all, every day. And we have to ask him, does he recognize you? She does not recognize. How long? For past 5, 6 years, she has lost because nobody comes to us. Our children are there. We have 12 children, and nobody comes to see us. She has lost all hope, and suddenly she lost. And then every day you are going. What is the use? Because she does not remember. But I know her. No, I know her. See, I know her. It doesn't mean that she must know. Sometimes when we love somebody, we force themselves. Alright, you do your duty. You don't force others to do the same thing. You have your opinion of yourself as your something. Doesn't mean that everybody must have the same opinion. A person who knows himself need not be afraid of anybody. Once I was conducting a seminar, and there were some sisters. Usually, sisters are very much interested to know who they are by the others. They were going there, and there was one astrologer. So they were looking at her hand, and they were telling what how you have two brothers, you have one, something like that. They told something, and the sister came back and father, that fellow told me what he told, that I have two brothers. How he knows that I have two brothers? Yeah, he told me that my grandfather was like this. So many things. This is the only thing he knows about. You don't know all this before. You don't know all this before. And somebody tells about you, you're so happy. But that's not all that is you. You are more than anything. So now this seminar is self-concept. So actually concept itself, I don't like the word, but anyway, let's see how the speakers are going to develop the theme. Concept is a dead word. Self-perception. So what a concept is God is not a concept. God is a person. We are all persons. A concept is a thought that freezes us. No, we are not freezing. We are not freezing our self-image. So the image grows. So Jesus asks, who do say people I am? So he wants to know. You are at the end of the journey of his after the 2-3 circles of his mission. He has to go to Jerusalem because he was rejected in Nazareth. He was going to. There he wants to know, who do people say that I am? Who do say people? He wants to know that. You are this, you are this, you are this. You are Elijah, you are and all that. But ultimately, yes, who do you say that I am? People are saying like that. Who do you say that I am? The same question can be asked now. Who do you say that you are? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? My eyes. So this is a reflection of myself. Who am I? Who will tell me? Who will tell me? My friends will tell me. My family people will tell me. My enemies also will tell me. My students will tell me. My companions, everybody will tell me something, but they cannot tell the whole thing because they like, as you know, the Johari window cannot be completely open. There will be something always hidden in us. But the more you know about yourself, no better you are. But you must give opportunities to know yourself. We all love our false images. Somebody saying something, you are good, be happy. Because if you are really good, okay, but you are without doing things, without any achievements, people attribute many things to you, you are happy with the self wrong image. What image you want, you project to others, and that you are happy with that. When you are alone, when you are before God, when you are taking bath, when you are nicely walking on the garden, what is that? What is that image that comes to you? What is self-love that goes on you? That image will reflect to you, because we are not simple human beings. We are rational, emotional, social, physical. So many aspects are there. How do you know? We are complicated beings. So these are all the areas in which we have our own self-image. So all these areas will come into focus when you are spiritually strong. What is the image that God has about you? So in prayer, when you work before God, whoever religion you are, you will have some prayer life in our life. Sometimes you spend with yourself before that divine. So what God thinks about you ultimately matters that. If you are sure that God knows about you and this is what you are, however sinful you are, however mean you are, doesn't matter. But this is what you are. if you are able to accept your color, your language, your deficiencies, your weakness, your failures, everything. This is what I am. We feel a kind of happiness. Sometimes we hide our failures, hide our wounds, we hide all our weaknesses. No, this is me. This is me. I'm happy. So when you are accepting, others cannot find out your weakness and make you defile and make you small. I know I am. What I am is what I am. You're happy. Happiness comes from there. There comes strength. So let's wish all the best for the participants and Sherly and Libin who are accepted a Loyola College invitation to come and enlighten our minds and our youngsters to have a proper perspective of themselves, a self-respect, a self-image of themselves, so that they grow day by day, that they don't get stuck. Because whenever they post something, immediately they look how many likes they come. They want somebody else to accept it, somebody else to like them. They put their picture immediately after 1 hour, they see 20 likes, 40 likes, 60 likes. If nobody likes, they get rejected. So this is the younger generation. Somebody must appreciate me. You are beautiful, you are say, immediately a lady is flattened, that's all. So these are the youngsters we have. No, don't depend upon others. You depend on yourself. It's a very good topic that we have chosen, a challenging topic, and wish all the best to Sherly and Libin and Bala and Samuel for arranging this. All the best. Thank you. God bless.
Thanks a lot, Father. Thank you for introducing.
Thank you, Father, for your thoughts on self-concept and soothing words of welcome. Now, I request Reverend Father Bala Boluneni, SDA, the founder director of and Psychological Counsel, for his opening remarks and also to introduce the webinar speakers. Over to Reverend Father Bala Boluneni, the founder director.
Good evening to everybody. First of all, you're warmly welcome for this webinar. Father Victor has rightly put us into perspective. Probably you might have heard this motivational lines quite a few times. If you have not, this is the time to listen to those. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. And watch your habits, they become your character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. Whether people say, who am I, what am I, it doesn't matter. What I say to myself, as Father Victor also said, is very important. So today, this seminar is mainly targeted towards our young people. We want you to understand and ask yourself, what do I feed myself with? What kind of thoughts do I have about myself? Because they determine your words, they determine your actions, they determine your habits, they determine your personality, at the end of the day, your journey of life. So I wish that this webinar is not an information passing on webinar, maybe an element of information will be there, but also an inspirational webinar, because we want to have this as a kind of workshop for you young people. And I requested the resource persons not to bombard us with a lot of academic information, but rather simplifying the concept, the understanding of the self, in easy and understandable words for all of us, our young people, so that we take home something out of this and we begin to appreciate the sense of self that we are to carry with ourselves from the birth to the death. Nobody else will journey with us except we ourselves. So I have to journey with my sense of self. So that will be the purpose of this seminar, and I'm sure these resource persons, I know them quite well, very personally, good friends of mine, and Sister Sherly, a secular nun, she has been part of our lives for the past 15 years. And Father Libin, for the past few years, I know him well. And I think of both of these speakers, the psychological counselors, both of them now. So we congratulate them for graduating. Both of them have gone through life in such a way that today they are able to share with us that I have a sense of self that is healthy. I'm healthy with my sense of self. Somebody said so beautifully, if you want to shine like sun, you got to burn like sun first. You got to burn like sun, then only you can shine like sun. These two of them, Father Libin and Sister Sherly, have gone through life. They have burned themselves psychologically, emotionally, and physically. They have gone through hard life, but they loved it. They loved it, and today they are able to present before us and showcase as a witness to us, as Father Victor has rightly mentioned about the spiritual sense of spirituality, or a deep sense of believing in God and trusting in God is what makes them special. So I really appreciate and thank you very much, Sister Sherly and Father Libin, for accepting our invitation. And without much ado, we would like to leave it to your hands to take it forward. And I wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much, Father Bala and Father Victor, for the words of appreciation. So if we can begin, we would like to go ahead with the first slide.
Yes. Yeah, is it on, sister? Yes, sister, you can go ahead.
So dear friends, good evening one and all, and warm welcome to this webinar. So profoundly, I would like to thank Father Victor Emmanuel, the principal of Andhra Loyola College, for giving us this great opportunity to interact with the adolescents, the college students, and to share our inspirations and insights on healthy self-concept. We also thank Father Bala, founder director of SJ, for taking a lot of effort to make this happen today. We also thank Dr. Dayagar and Dr. Sahai Bhaskaran for your assistance. Yeah, now it's time for us, me, Sherly Joseph, and Father Libin, my colleague, both of us to begin. Can I have the first slide, sir?
Yeah. Yes, sister, it is on. Sister, you can go ahead. Yeah, yes, sister, the slide is shown to the audience. You can refer independently and go ahead.
Sherly, you will not be able to see unless we have
Okay.
YouTube. It will be
Okay.
YouTube.
Fine. So dear friends, since our topic is self-concept, let's just begin this by telling to ourselves that we love ourselves. We care for ourselves. So I just want to help you to do a butterfly dance. You may be asking, how is it possible? It's possible. Just cross your hands to your chest and just tapping back and forth. Just tell yourself, I love myself. I care for myself. Just cross your hands, tap it back and forth. Repeat yourself, I love myself. I care for myself. Since I love myself, I care for myself, I'm here to learn and do something for myself. I'm sure you all of you are doing. Thanks a lot. So to introduce our topic, Shine from Within, Developing a Healthy Self-Concept. So the objective of this workshop, first we will be describing about the meaning of the self-concept and the three pillars of the self-concept. Why for adolescents especially this self-concept is important. How do we differentiate the healthy and unhealthy self-concept so that we are able to develop healthy self-concept? And what are the ways to develop We also will be giving you a toolkit at the end of this webinar. This self-concept can be defined as individual knowledge about oneself. It also includes both the cognitive and affective domains. Self-concept is all-embracing idea we have about who we are. It can be physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, socially. All-embracing idea, and all these aspects are taken into consideration. Roy Baumeister says, self-concept is an individual belief. It's my belief about myself, and it has an organized set of characteristics that we identify ourselves as unique for us. Now, in order to have a complete evaluation of self, to understand myself, I need to know 4 aspects. This complete evaluation happens from the internal sense of who I am, internal sense of who you are. It is how people see themselves, think about themselves, feel about themselves, and much more. How do you love and value yourself? So since this webinar is mostly, we thought of focusing on adolescents, and if other participants are there, we don't ignore you, we do warmly welcome you. So how do we see the self-concept in young adults? Why is it so important for them? So most of the time, the young adults or the adolescents measure the students' perception of competence in academic and non-academic domains. For example, if I am very successful in my studies, if I score very good grade or marks, then I am happy and I feel I am great, I am successful. So I have a perception of my competence according to the achievement that I have in my academics. We also see most of the adolescents, when we interact with them, they tell us, no, I do not have a good family support, or I don't have a good circle of friends. So how do they evaluate themselves? They feel, if I have a very good family, if I have a very good social circle, or if my behaviors are accepted by the others, then I am quite well, I am okay, I feel comfortable with myself. But remember, these are not only the domains where we measure or evaluate our self-concept, because self-concept is something that sprouts from the internal sense of who I am. So now you can see the slide, a beautiful introspective question, which Father Victor was already mentioning. Who am I? Who am I? The perception I have of myself, which is very important. And no one can give answer for this question. No friends, no family, no social circle can give me the answer. It is I who need to answer to myself who I am. So I welcome you, dear, all the participants, to just close your eyes for a moment. Ask yourself this beautiful question. Who am I? If you can get at least 3 statements, I am. So, since it is not an interaction, we are unable to have the interaction, I'm sure Or maybe I can assume some of the answers from you. Some of you might say, I'm a loving person. I'm a hardworking person. I'm a smart boy. I'm a success girl. Or whatever may be the self statement that you make for yourself for the question, who am I? Wonderful.
Sister, one
Undoubtedly, I can say
I'm
some of
sorry.
you.
I'm sorry for interaction. Sorry. In case you want a question, you can ask them to type in live chat. Some of us will tell you. No issue.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, only 30 seconds time lag will be there. Okay.
Oh, okay. So, would any of you like to at least type two statements that they have made?
Father Bala, if you are following live, perhaps you can read out.
Yeah, that's okay. I think we can go ahead. We can go ahead.
Okay.
Sister, you're doing well. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. So, on the other side, we can also see maybe some of you might have got this whispering voice from within, I'm not good at all. I'm a failure. Nothing wrong in it. As we go, we can see how we perceive things from our experiences and we make conclusions. But my second question is, if you are able to say, I'm a loving person, I'm a hardworking person, is it coming from your own conviction or is it that someone has told you that? If you feel a bit of disgust and say, I'm not good at all, I'm a failure, does this come from you or have you heard it from someone? That matters a lot to understand who am I. So, coming to the characteristics of self concept. Self concept is the internal sense that we have about ourselves, and it always displays uniquely for each person. It can also vary. Now, I have asked the participants, and it's very clear some of you have written positively, some of you have written negatively, which is absolutely fine. But it can vary from positive to negative. When we say who I am, it also carries the emotional, intellectual part, what I think about myself, and the functional dimensions. How am I successful? I also value myself. And the self concept in detail as we will be dealing, it's very clear self concept is not made at a stretch. From the birth till death, the self concept keep on changing according to the context in which we live and over time. Undoubtedly, the self concept that we hold, the healthy self concept or unhealthy self concept, is going to influence our individual life. To give you some example for the positive self concept, I can do anything I really want to do. It expresses my self confidence. I have definite strength and abilities. Yes, the self awareness about my strengths. I see myself as being as good as my friends, which give you a good self esteem, which we'll be dealing later. There are many ways to solve a problem. So he is able to perceive or have different perspective when he or she is facing with a challenge. So what are these statements say? That I love myself. I love myself not when I am perfect. I love myself even when I am challenged with myself. My own internal struggles, knowing who I am, the strengths that I hold, the areas that I need to grow, when I realize all these, still I love myself. The negative self-concept on the other side of the coin. Why should I try? I could never do it anyway. I'm not so good as my friends. We know unhealthy comparison most of the time, which affect the adolescents. They are unable to see the good, the strength, the treasure that is in them because we keep focusing on others at times where we are unable to draw from within. Our own well is full. So sometimes when we say the negative concept, the negative statement saying I'm nothing, then we need to see where am I moving. So Carl Roger, one of the best psychologists whom I love and refer, he says in his theory of personality, two things can affect our self-concept from childhood or when we have transitioned to adolescence. One is the introjected values, second is conditions of worth. The self-concept is the internal sense of asking ourselves, who am I? The introjected values, I as a person internalizes the ideas and opinions of others, especially it can be the external authorities, people, significant people like our parents, teachers. We hear their opinions and make it as our own belief. And then we also acquire these conditions of worth. For example, someone tells you, hey, you are a boy, you don't cry. Boys don't cry. It's an introjected value. And then I make it as my conditions of worth. If I cry, I'm not good. If I show myself very strong without crying, even when I feel to cry, I don't cry, then I'm very strong, I'm very smart. These introjected values that you are able, again, you are acquiring it as your conditions of worth. The forceful behavior to meet the conditions. This picture, this image will give you a clear idea. Introjected values are what the voices or opinions that we hear from outside. For example, you have to be very hardworking to be loud. And what conditions of worth? I am worthy when I am loud. I am worthy when I work hard. I am loud when I work hard. I am appreciated only when I work hard. Need not be. So, where is our unconditional positive regard? Yes, I work hard, but still I may not get success as I expected. Does it mean that I am not good? Doesn't. I am good with my strengths and my weakness or my areas of improvement. So sometimes when this introjected values and the conditions of worth, when it is so much given value, we, especially the adolescents, experience a psychological frustration. I am able to tell myself it's okay to cry. It's okay at times to face the failure. It's okay to be fearful at times. But someone says, no, you shouldn't be fearful. You shouldn't fail. So how do I balance? It can create a kind of psychological frustration in you. So, quite interesting. While I was preparing, I saw it. Mosquito principle. What happens when you go for a picnic? You want to cherish the company of your friends. You also want to enjoy the delicious food or varieties, see the places. With all these good feelings that you are going for a picnic and you see a hungry mosquito pestering you. If a hungry mosquito pesters you, all these different things that you thought to enjoy will become secondary. Your primary concern would be how to chase this. Oh, this mosquito is disturbing me. It's not creating a happy feeling for me. So what is the message from this? We can be distracted from the best things in our life. the things that you want to cherish, the things you want to enjoy, the things that you want to focus, you can be distracted by the worst thing. Now, you and I need to ask ourselves, what is this disturbing mosquito? How can I remove it? When I have so many strengths, when I am gifted, the single weakness or single area of growth, the limitation, is it disturbing me so much? Then I need to make a change to cultivate a healthy self-concept. This, it can be the comparison with others, the body image with which I am not happy, or the opinions of others. So, the major chunk of this webinar is to see the three components mentioned by Carl Roger. If we are going to construct a house or a building, of course, it needs strong foundation. And if it has to be raised, we need pillars. So I would like to compare saying the three pillars for a construction is very important. So also the three components are very important for developing a very good healthy self-concept. The first pillar is self-image. How do I see myself? How do I perceive myself? The second one is the self-esteem. What do I feel? What do I feel about myself? How do I value myself? The third one is the ideal self or self-ideal. What I dream, or what's my hope, or what's my wish. Here this quote says, the beauty begins the moment you decided to be yourself. If I need to be of myself, I really need to know what is my self-image, what is my self-esteem level, and what is my ideal self that I want to. So in order to explain separately, the first one is the self-image. Self-image is the inner reflection or the mental image that we have about ourselves. As I said, how do I view myself? The self-image is the idea, the conception, or the mental image I have about myself. It refers how do I see myself internally and externally. When I say internally, what's my feeling? What's the emotion that I go through now? Externally, yes, we all want to look good, presentable, appealing. Yes, so that matters a lot for the self-image. And your internal image that you hold always will influence your attitudes, your emotions, and your behaviors. When I am happy, automatically I vibrate the happiness to others. When I am healthy, I am energetic, enthusiastic. Yes, my presence will make difference. And this is the way others perceive you and they respond to you. So it's also important to reflect, how do I present myself? The way I view myself, I present myself to others. Here, a kind of self-evaluation would help us. Let your inner voice speak louder than the opinions of others. We all have an inner scorecard. It's not a mark scorecard, but the inner scorecard, the strengths, the weakness, the areas of growth that I have. The outer scorecard, how the people perceive me. What are the strengths or what are the weaknesses that they see? Now, For you and for me, what is more important? Which matter more to you and to me? It should be our inner scorecard. How do I value myself? Since we heard the self-image contribute a lot for our healthy self-concept, how do we develop this? Students or all other participants, I would like to tell you something. We are all work in progress. Every day, every moment, through every experience and situation, we are growing. So 3 things I would like to say which I myself practice. One of the best thing is the gratitude journal. What am I thankful for today? Just look around you, the situation of COVID-19. People are panicked, disturbed, uncertain. Some of them are discouraged. But you are here right now telling yourself, I love myself and I want to help myself learning something. Are we not privileged? So what am I grateful for? If you can have a gratitude journal to write down at least 3 things at the end of the day, I think that would really enhance your self-image.
Gratitude.
And the second one is the strength exploration. We all would like to look at what are the things I'm not good at. Oh, okay. I'm not so good at this. I'm not so good at that. But there are a lot of good things in you. Can I look at that and tell, yes, I'm good at this, but I'm striving to be good at that. The third one is the core belief that I have about myself. So we did an exercise asking ourselves, who am I? If you are able to say that I am a loving person, then the core belief that I hold is I'm a worthy person, I'm a lovable person, and this belief will automatically influence the way I interpret my own experiences. The experiences can be challenging, it can be hard. Still, I will be able to say, because deep within I believe that I am a lovable person. So the second pillar of self-concept is self-esteem. Self-esteem is nothing but when you look at that image, you can see, dear self, you are good enough. When you tell yourself, dear self, I'm good enough. I have enough strength. So actually self-esteem is how much value you place for yourself. The vibrational and emotional state of being. And from where do we get this self-esteem? It's not possible to buy anywhere. Knowing oneself, accepting oneself. So here I would like to mention the self-knowledge. Know thyself and know God. So knowing oneself will give you that internal sense of who you are. This self-esteem determines how you think, how you feel, and how you behave. Sometimes we observe people and we tell, hey, he is very confident, she is very smart, she is very confident. What do we say? How do we assess people in such a way? It is the energy level, the enthusiasm that they hold. The confidence level comes mainly from the self-esteem, the level of self-esteem. Are we all born with this? No. Step by step, we develop the self-esteem, telling ourselves very often, dear self, I'm good enough. Of course, I have areas where I need to grow. But at present, being present to myself right now, I feel I'm good enough. So here I would like to use the law of reversibility. The more you love yourself, you will perform well. The more you perform well, you will love yourself. Now, how do I build this self-esteem? I think you are able to see the two eyes of the woman. The compassion and kindness towards oneself. What do I focus on myself? Is it my strengths or is it my weakness? Is it my areas of growth or the areas that I have grown already? So building self-esteem, we need to enhance our strengths. We also need to do something that makes us happy, comfortable. And I would really like to emphasize, surround yourself with a supportive squad, may it be from your family, friends, or colleagues. Very often, tell these self-statements to enhance your self-esteem. I am good enough. I am loved. I am worthy. I am work in progress. I am growing day by day. The third pillar, the main pillar, is the ideal self. The self-image is now how I see myself. Self-esteem, how much value I give. The ideal self, what do I wish to be? The dream, the hope that I have. It is composed of virtues, values, and qualities that we hold. We admire in others and we admire in ourselves. And this develops from our own learning and experiences. When we say ideal self is, I have an idea, I want to be like this. I want to reach this stage. I want to become a person, self-actualization. A person who is complete in the sense, internally happy and healthy with myself. Now, when I thought about the ideal self, some of the people came into my mind. So, Abdul Kalam, Mother Teresa, Malala, these are ideal persons who had an ideal self, the person I like to become with my values and beliefs. Abdul Kalam, we all know, such a wonderful person, the missile man of India. His journey was not an easy one. Lot of challenges, lot of struggles. But since he had a hope and vision, he held that vision and dream, that ideal self where he wanted to reach, and he reached. Mother Teresa, a strong desire to reach the poor, the downtrodden, but she was just started her humble beginning. Malala, a strong, courageous woman who stood for the education of the women. So all these people, of course, we think about them. Just now look around us, our situation in our campus, in our family, among our relatives, our friends. Don't we have ideal persons? We have. We have such a wonderful ideal people who have vision and hope. I was so impressed by your own Loyola College, how they have reached out during this pandemic to the poor, the less privileged people. I have great appreciation for what Andhra Loyola College has been doing. How do we have that heart to do something for others? It's only when we have an ideal self with dream and vision for ourselves and for the world. So these lines came into my mind, and which I love to hold in my heart. The ideal persons are people who hold a spark of light in us. And let us allow that light to shine and radiate that light to others. So I have a few lines to sing for you. I'm sure you will enjoy. You can sing with me or you can also hum with me. Whenever I feel that I need some boosting for myself emotionally, or when I want to feel good about myself, I just repeat this song within me. This little guiding light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little guiding light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little guiding light of mine, I'm going to let it shine, all the time, let it shine. The first pillar, self-image, is how I view myself. I view myself as a person who have a spark in me. I hold a light in me which I want to radiate. There is a little lamp burning in me. I'm going to let it shine. There is a little lamp burning in me. I'm going to let it shine. There is a little lamp burning in me. I'm going to let it shine, all the time, let it shine. The second pillar is the self-esteem. How much value we give to ourselves. What kind of hope that I hold? I have hope and love for myself. This hope and love I spread to others. I have hope and love for myself. I'm going to let it shine. I have hope and love for myself. I'm going to let it shine. I have hope and love for myself. I'm going to let it shine, all the time, let it shine. The third one, the ideal self, the dream and vision that I want to become, I want to be. The dream and the vision that I have is to spread around, do good to the world. I hold visions and dreams for the world. I'm going to let it shine. I hold visions and dreams for the world. I'm going to let it shine. I hold visions and dreams for the world. I'm going to let it shine, all the time, let it shine. So, dear friends, we need to let our light shine. Especially let our light shine during this pandemic, COVID-19, where people feel frustrated, people feel lonely, isolated. Let our light shine before them. Coming to the importance of self-concept, being, doing and connecting. Those three aspects I will be highlighting, how this contribute to our self-concept. So here I would like to say the story of the oyster or the butterfly. Have you seen what does an oyster does? An oyster, when it is bothered or irritated by a single sand piece, a single grain of sand, it uses its power to cover all that negatively bothers, layers and layers, to cultivate the positive layer around itself. And that positive stuff is the pearl that we get from an oyster. What does a caterpillar do? A caterpillar becomes a butterfly while it is in this cocoon. While it is inside the cocoon, it develops its strong wings. I would like to compare or give this insight to our present situation. We see people around us during this pandemic with mixed feelings, thoughts, but then we can become oyster or a caterpillar, allow ourselves to be with ourselves, knowing the internal sense of who we are, to come out as a pearl or as a beautiful butterfly. While we are being with ourselves, we develop the profound sense of self. We learn to trust ourselves. We learn to see our strengths, our areas of growth. How is this being leading us to doing? What can I do in this? I'm unable to go out. I'm unable to be with people. I'm unable to meet my friends. No, we can do wonderful things for ourselves, which will help us in turn to help others. Physically, how much time do we take care of ourselves? The self-care, most important aspect. Through exercise, through lot of rest, sufficient rest for ourselves, yoga, or whatever, something that you like to do for yourself. Can I enhance my physical strength, physical stamina? When I am healthy, I am going to be happy and content with myself. Now we know the corona is spreading around because we don't really take care of ourselves physically. So the physical care that helps us to develop a healthy self-concept. Mentally, emotionally, reading some good books, watching some motivational videos, having a healthy interactions or conversation with our friends. People's ideas and views are always encouraged. It's so good to learn from others. And how is this being, doing, helping us to connecting? Connecting can happen with ourselves and with others. Intrapersonal relationship and interpersonal relationship. Interpersonal relationship is I am able to connect with myself, knowing who I am, how do I see myself, what do I think about myself, how do I feel about myself. Interpersonal, once you know about yourself, your strengths, your areas of growth, automatically you will be confident enough to relate to others. So this oyster, this butterfly, while it is being with itself, it is come as a beautiful pearl. So with these insights, now I hand over to my colleague Libin Antony, who would be sharing his insights with us, especially how to distinguish healthy and unhealthy self-concept.
Thank you, Sherly, and good evening, friends. I hope that by this time you have a clear idea about what self-concept is and what are the different aspects of self-concept and what is the important and how can build our self-esteem, self-image and ideal self. So now we are moving to the developmental stages of self-concept. So the question is, when do we actually develop our self-concept? Is there a particular time in which we develop our self-concept? The answer is no. There is no particular time, because the development of self-concept is a lifelong process which starts from the birth and it goes on throughout our life. However, the stages of childhood and adolescence is very important with regard to the development of our self-concept. I would like to use an imagery of wax. Wax, when it is in the melted form, we can easily change its shape. But when it is hard, it is difficult to change its shape. We have to break it and melt it again. So actually, when we think about the development of our self-concept, the stages of childhood and adolescence is just like the melted wax, which means we can change our self-identity during these stages of life. But when it comes to adulthood or middle adulthood or old adulthood, it is not that much easy, but it is possible. So therefore, actually we are going to see how our self-concept developed in the stage of childhood and adolescence. So how our self-concept developed at the stage of early childhood, which start from our birth until the age of 6. In the first 2 years, actually, the child who depends its mother or the caregiver for everything identifies itself with mother. But when it comes to at the age of 2, gradually language develops, so the child begins to use the words I, my, me, etc., which is an indication of the gradual development of the self-concept of the child. So what is important here is the constant relationship with the parent. If the parent is taking care of the child very well, then that child will likely to develop a healthy self-concept. On the other hand, if it is a neglected child, the experience of negligence will lead to the development of unhealthy self-concept in the child. And the second stage is middle childhood, which starts from the age of 7 and ends at the age of 11. So at this period of time, the child is mainly at school, spending his time with peers, and also there is interaction with teachers and other people. So now the child is exposed to the society. So therefore, the social self begins to develop. Social self means the part of ourself which forms through our relationship with others. So now the child is thinking about others, comparing himself with others, and try to find a space within different groups. So the social self begins to develop at this stage. So we are now moving to the period of adolescence, which is our focus today, and it starts from at the age of 12 until the age of 21. So here at the period of adolescence, we know a lot of changes takes place, physically, mentally, intellectually. A lot of changes happens at this period of time. So this stage of life is mainly known for search for identity. It is a period of search for identity, and lot of experiments and exploration happens at this stage. We are going to see it in detail. So 3 major changes affecting the self-concept of the adolescent are: 1, physical changes. I already mentioned a lot of physical change happens at this stage of life. So physical growth happens rapidly and dramatically. I'm not going to the details of what all are the physical changes, but at this stage, body image becomes a great concern for the adolescent. Body image, which means how I see my own physical appearance. So body image is a very important factor at this period of time. And now the adolescent try to compare his or her body image with other well-known social images, maybe actresses, actors, celebrities. And when he or she find that my self-image is good, then he will likely to have a healthy self-concept. But on the contrary, if the person think that my self-concept is not that good, my self-image is not that good, then that person likely to develop a negative self-concept. And the next major change that happens at this period of time is cognitive changes. The advanced development of brain happens at this period of time. There is something called higher order thinking, which means the ability to solve problems, decision making, execution, and choose one from different options, abstract thinking, etc. So the adolescent can think in a more wider range. For example, a child can think about a loving mother or a loving father, but it may not be able to think about the concept of love itself, which is abstract in nature. But an adolescent can think about the concept of love, concept of justice. And adolescent can understand metaphors, analogies, sarcasm, etc. That means now the adolescent have a wider range of thinking, and now he or she is able to process his own life experiences, whether it is failure or success, and also he or she is able to process the opinion of others, how others are thinking about me, and which affects the development of self. And third major change is social change, which is very important at this stage. So I am taking three areas. The first area is family. So the dynamics of relationship with regard to family or friends or the opposite sex changes at this period of time. Adolescents strive for independence, freedom, independence from the parents. They want to take their own decisions. They want to make their own choices, maybe with regard to their studies, with regard to their career, with regard to their friendship. But they strive for independence. So this strive for freedom can develop a kind of conflict between the parent and the adolescent. It may be because the failure of the parent to understand what is going through his or her adolescent child. So there happens the parent trying to put more control over the adolescent child, and which results in parent-adolescent conflict. So that is one area. And the second area is school and college. So adolescents like to spend more time with their peers, their friends. Why? They have a common language. They can understand each other in a better way, and they are not controlling each other. So therefore, when it comes to the development of self-concept, peers have a greater influence on adolescents, because adolescents have high susceptibility to peer influence. And also positive and negative feedback from teachers and other significant others are very important at this period of time. When it comes to peers, if the adolescent is accepted by the peers, then his or her a self-concept is likely to develop positively. But if the adolescent experience neglect, rejection, bullying, etc. from peers, so it will negatively affect his self. And the last area is romantic relationship. So romantic relationship serves different functions. It may be for fun, companionship, or maybe for emotional intimacy, whatever it is. Romantic relationship play a greater role in the development of self-concept. According to the studies, various studies, the person who has a healthy romantic relationship is likely to have a better self-concept, because he will think like this: I am a lovable person, I am worthy enough to be loved by others. That will be his thinking. But when breakup happens, or when the romantic partner is not interested anymore, it will develop negative thinking, like I am not worthy because I am not loved, I am not lovable, etc., which will negatively affect the self-esteem of the person. So, search for identity is a main element at this period of time. It's a period when adolescents search for their own identity. You may be familiar with a story of an eagle. So once a farmer found an eagle's egg and he kept it with chicken's egg, and it was hatched, and the eagle was brought up with other chickens, and she learned how to dig the ground, how to pick up worms from the ground, and it was just like a chicken. One day, a male eagle happened to see this female eagle among the chickens. Once this female eagle was alone, away from the chicken house, that male eagle came and asked, "What are you doing in the chicken yard? What are you doing here? You are an eagle, you are not a chicken. Look at yourself. See your strong wings and legs. They are very strong, powerful. So fly, come with me. We can fly in the skies above. You do not belong to the ground. You are not a chicken, but you are an eagle." But she cannot accept that. She went back to the chicken house, and she lived like a chicken and died like a chicken. What happened here? That eagle cannot understand its own identity. Therefore, it failed to understand its own possibilities, its own strengths. So, you become what you believe you are. We become what we believe we are. If you believe you are a success, then you will become a successful person. But if you believe that you are a failure, then you will have more chance to become failure in your life. So our beliefs are very, very important. So in the case of eagle, identity was the problem. Inability to understand its own identity. So identity is very important when it comes to our case also. Especially in the period of adolescence, identity formation happens. So the well-known psychologist Erik Erikson, who has divided the entire human lifespan into 8 stages, he calls the period of adolescence as identity versus role confusion. According to him, this is a period of confusion. It is just like we are standing in front of a dining table of having full of delicious dishes presented on that, and we are allowed to take anything, whatever we want. But we know that we have a single small stomach. We can't eat everything. We have to choose. Just like this, adolescents Adolescents are exposed to various possibilities, options with regard to their own appearance, with regard to their own studies, maybe with regard to their career, their relationships, different ideologies, religious belief, alliance to political party, etc. So now the adolescent is confused. What is where I am belonging? What is my identity? And also they may have different questions within. We call them existential questions. The questions like, who am I? What is my identity? What is my identity in the society? How can I be accepted by others? What is my belief in the divine and higher power? So existential question with regard to the meaning of life, purpose of life, etc. So these questions and also this confusion lead them to explore different options, to make experiments. So that is why it's a period of exploration and experiments. For example, a boy who wants to pursue a career, he begins to pursue a certain career, and after 1 or 2 months he is thinking that it is not my cup of tea, and he is changing himself to another career. It is also possible with studies, beginning with one area of study and not interested in that, so changing to another area of study. So a lot of exploration and experimentation happens. And at the end of this stage of adolescence, there are two possible outcomes for this exploration and experimentation. And the first outcome can be identity diffusion, which can cause unhealthy self-concept. What is identity diffusion? If the adolescent is not able to explore the different options which is presented in front of him, and at the end he will not be able to commit himself to a particular identity. So identity confusion continues even at the end of adolescence. It is called identity diffusion. And the second outcome is identity achievement. Those who have explored and those who have made experimentation with different aspects, at the end of their adolescence, they may be able to find their own identity. So they will achieve their identity, which will contribute to their self-concept. So coming back to identity diffusion, which leads to unhealthy self-concept. So what are the characteristics of unhealthy self-concept? The person with diffused identity will have an unhealthy self-concept, and he will magnify the faults and minimize the achievements. It will be very hard for them. It will be very hard for them to accept compliments from others. He may be good at studies, but he will think that I am not good at sports or arts, focusing more on the failures, the weaknesses, and they will have low self-value, which leads to high level of stress and loneliness. They may experience higher level of stress because their confidence level is very low. And it will eventually lead to low performance in academics and low performance in work, because always the fear of failure will be there. So they won't try to do new things. They won't take up new projects because always they hold the fear of failure. Even if I take this, will I become a failure? So they also suffer with strained relationship because they will have inferiority complex within, and they will always compare themselves with others, and seeing that others are performing well, living a very good life, they feel jealous of that. and also they feel insecurity when it comes to their people who are relating with them. Will I lose my friend? Will I lose my romantic partner, etc.? So it will eventually lead to strained relationship. And last one is they will take unhealthy coping strategies in order to cope up with this, etc. So what is the outcome? What is the final result of a diffused identity? It is identity confusion. The identity is still in confusion even at the end of the period of adolescence, because they fail to explore options. Therefore, they'll try to withdraw themselves from society. They will have a fear to relate with people, and they always have the fear of criticism, negative feedback from others. And sometimes they may lost in the crowd, losing their own identity, and they will have poor sense of purpose, low self-esteem. And when we come to the identity achievement again, which lead to healthy self-concept, adolescents who were able to find their own identity, their characteristics are, they will have the ability to assess their strengths and weaknesses. So they will be very realistic. They will be proud of their own strengths. They will be happy to receive appreciation from the people around. And they are also aware of their weaknesses, but they accept their weaknesses and try to overcome that weaknesses. And they are able to love and accept themselves even with their weaknesses and their failures. And they will have the ability to take responsibility for their choices and actions. Sometimes their choices can go wrong. Their actions may end up in failure. But at that moment of failure also, they will be stand on their leg and they can take the responsibility for their actions and their choices, and they will be proud to have their honest self. They will be honest to themselves, and they will honest to others too. That means they will be genuine in relationship. So what is the final result of having a identity achievement? As I mentioned, they will have a coherent self. They will have a healthy self. Now we are moving to two important factors that influence self-concept, especially of adolescents. And first factor is success in the desired area. Success in the desired area. And the second factor is approval from significant people. So, coming to this first factor, success in the desired area, in order to understand it in a better way, we have to understand how do we, the two sources of information we use to build up our own self-concept. One is our direct appraisal. That means our own belief about ourselves that we create from our own past experiences. Who am I with regard to my life experiences? So here comes the role of success and failures. So when we say that success in the desired areas will contribute to the self-concept of an adolescent, it is from their past experiences. So those who are success, they will have more possibility to build a healthy self-concept, and those who have failures, past experiences of failures, they may likely to have a negative self-concept. And the second factor is approval from significant people. Who are the significant people? Parents, teachers, neighbors, relatives, etc. So in order to understand this, the second source of information we use to build up our self-concept is uh,
YouTube
the belief, our perception about how others evaluate us. It is called mirror image, indirect appraisal, how others are seeing me. Therefore, approval from significant people is very important in the development of self at this period of adolescence. Adolescents are very much concerned about what others are thinking about me. They give much importance to others' judgment, others' comments, etc. Sherly has already mentioned about introjection and also conditions of worth. What is important is here is that not to allow others' beliefs, others' introjection become your conditions of worth. That is very important. Give importance to your own belief about yourself. So, what is important is the formation of belief. How do we process our own past experiences and how do we create our own beliefs? So we form our belief from our own experiences. There are two kinds of beliefs. One is irrational belief and the other is rational belief. So what is irrational belief? It is the wrong belief we are holding. It is the unhealthy we are holding about ourselves, which leads to unhealthy self-concept. For example, failure in an exam. A boy tells that I failed in exam and therefore I am stupid. So his experience is that failure in the exam and he forms a belief that I am stupid. And the second belief is rational belief. That is the right and healthy belief we have about ourselves. Taking the same example, failure in the exam. Another person is telling that, yeah, I failed in the exam, but this failure in this particular exam does not make me stupid because I passed other exams. I have the ability. I am not stupid. I will study more intensely and I will pass next time. So the processing of our experiences, the same experience can cause different beliefs. It can be processed positively or negatively. The processing of experience is very important. So now you think about what all are your negative comments about yourself. Like, I am not competent, I am not loved, I am a failure. And now try to, these are our irrational beliefs. These are irrational because these are the result of overgeneralization of our own personal experiences. So these are irrational. So now try to make it rational. For example, I lost my job, so I am not competent. So this is the irrational belief. How do we change it to rational belief? Even if I have lost my job, it does not mean that I am incompetent. I am competent. The fact is that I lost the job, but it does not make me incompetent. So try to make your irrational belief into rational. That will help you to lead a healthy life and that will contribute to development of a healthy self-concept. So here we have on the screen some statements, eight statements we have. I would like to, I hope that it is on your screen. There are 8 statements. Try to identify whether these statements are healthy or unhealthy. The first statement is, others are better than me. Think whether it is a healthy or unhealthy statement. Others are better than me.
Your unexpected problem.
Yeah, it's of course it's an unhealthy statement which resulted from unhealthy comparison. The second one is I believe in myself. It is a healthy self-concept. Third one is I ask for help when I need, which is a healthy statement because we all are in need of some kind of help always. Fourth one is I make a mess of my life. It is unhealthy. And the next one is I strive to grow every day. I strive to grow every day, which is very positive comment showing a healthy self-concept. And the last one, I deserve the respect of others, which indicates one's own self-value and self-respect. So try to make your irrational beliefs into rational beliefs. So now we are moving to how can we build a healthy self-concept. Sherly will take you to that subject. And thank you for your patient listening.
Thank you, Libin. So now that we know what is self-concept and how to distinguish, differentiate between healthy and unhealthy self-concept, our objective of this webinar is to help you to develop healthy self-concept. We have a toolkit for you. So the picture portrays the woman who says to herself, I'm trustworthy, I'm determined, I'm thoughtful. So here are 7 to 8 points as a toolkit which you can use. The first and foremost, optimistic attitude. Challenges, struggles, dark moments, absolutely it is in our life. But then, can I see the light that is shining within me? The ability to deal. The second one is emphasize your strengths. The third, self-care and self-compassion. Physically, mentally, psychologically, how do we take care of ourselves? The most important thing, again I stress, attitude of gratitude. Just be thankful for all that you have. Yeah, at times we can bribe the goodness. How? By thanking enough. Be generous in giving and receiving compliments. It's a great art to appreciate others. Maybe your little appreciation can enhance the strength of the other. Stop comparing with yourself. Establish friendly and motivated circle of people. Your surrounding makes or play a major role to contribute your self-concept positively. Allow personal growth. Now in this time of COVID-19, we have a lot of time given to us. How do I utilize to learn new skills? To utilize my time for my growth. Again, remembering and telling yourself, we are work in progress. So we need to set realistic goals. The self-image I have and where do I want to reach the ideal self. So, the next one, the how to develop healthy self-concept we have already seen. The final suggestion would be embrace your ideal self, that what you wish to be, the hope, the dreams that you have for your life. All of us have dreams. All of us have a great hope for our life. In order to do this shift from the self-image to the ideal self of what you want to be, 4 steps. Rightly know your current self. Where are you at this stage? And what is the ideal state self that you want to have? Who do you wish to be? What are the things that you like to achieve in life? And know the gap. If I have reached the 7 points of my growth, again there is a gap of 3. I grow day by day. And bridge this gap, acting like just you are the right person moving towards your growth. Finally, what matters most is how you see yourself. There is but one cause of human failure, and that is man's lack of faith in his true self. So, having received this insight and inspiration about developing a healthy self-concept, dear friends, our humble suggestion would be, we develop this healthy self-concept day by day, self-image of how we see ourselves, self-esteem of how we feel about ourselves, and the ideal self, what you and I wish to be. Let's strive for it, and we wish you all very good luck. God bless you all. Shine from within, and then we begin to grow. Thank you very much.
Sister, thank you very much for your content-centric talk on Shine Within. But there are 3 important questions. Shall I pose
Yes,
from
sir.
the chat box, sister?
Yes, sir.
The first question is, how to create self-confidence in kids? As we know, the children are becoming very sensitive and emotional very soon. Yes, sister.
Yeah. So, Father Libin was explaining to you the changes, the physical changes, emotional changes, the cognitive changes that is happening in adolescence. It is a transition period. So they go through a lot of confusion within themselves. The peer support, the social support, the family support matters a lot for their growth. So the children are becoming very sensitive. They are very sensitive. So the others, like us, we need to deal gently with them, emphasize more on their strengths and minimize their negative attitudes or areas of growth, as help them to grow in that. But we always emphasize or encourage them with positive. When they feel welcomed, when they feel accepted, they automatically start to grow. So they are more sensitive. Yes, I understand. They are more sensitive because they feel sometimes, oh, everything that I do is rejected. Everything that I do is a failure, not accepted. But that is the moment we can tell them, this is the area of growth. You are doing, you are improving. So start giving them a lot of affirmations that they are improving themselves. So I think that would help them.
Sister, the second question is, why a boy should not cry and is unable to express his emotions?
So this is what the introjected values I said. The society puts into our mind this. So for example, if a burial takes place and women cry very loudly in our culture, some of the places, but then men, sometimes they control their emotion. Who has told this to us? It is a society. Oh, men cry? Okay, no. Women can cry. Men cannot cry. But see, men and women both are emotional beings. Sadness is a right emotion that I experience the loss that I have. Is it wrong in expressing? No. But the society put into us. That's why I said the opinions and views of others we are taking it as our belief. Okay, they are telling we don't cry and we should not cry. But it is absolutely fine to express our emotions. Emotion of anger, emotion of sadness, it's absolutely fine to express. Why? Every emotion has a purpose. The emotion of sadness has a purpose that I express my loss right now. So there is nothing wrong in crying. We have every right to express our emotions because they have a purpose. So if somebody is feeling that the boy shouldn't cry, I tell them, come on, whenever you feel sad, express yourself. Don't feel bad about it.
Thank you. The third one is kindly tell us how should pre-adolescent children should handle criticism in life. How to handle criticism in life.
Okay. So the criticism, it happens in everyone's life. Is there any area where we see the positive and the negative? Now, it depends on me. That's why the inner scorecard and the outer scorecard. Inner scorecard is something that I know about myself. I know about myself that I can sing. But someone goes on say, hey, please don't initiate to sing. It's not at all pleasant. I know I am criticized. But again, in criticism, there are two things that we need to look. If that criticism is a positive criticism, then you take it. It is for your growth. Maybe I can improve in my singing. But if the criticism given by the person is aiming at bringing me down, not allowing me to grow, then I need to say no. That's why let your inner voice be louder than your outer voice. As Father Victor rightly said, it is you yourself know who you are and your strengths. So if you are going to give more value to what others speaks or criticize, then where is my own inner strength? I know we feel bad when people criticize us, but if it is for our progress, take it as a constructive criticism. If it is bring us down and not allowing us to grow, I think we can ignore it. And we know who are the people who are interested to give us positive criticism. Come on, criticism always help us, children. That's what I understand.
Sister, there is one more question. Shall I pose it? Last question?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir?
last question, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
last question.
Yeah, last question.
After this, we request Shirley to end the session with that little song so that we can take it as a mantra for ourselves and remind ourselves every now and then. That is a beautiful song. So you can end the session with that song after this question. Thank you.
Every individual self-concept is influenced by formal and informal groups. Whether output of psychological frustration has a positive impact or negative impact.
Okay. The psychological frustration happens when, as I mentioned, the introjected values and when I acquire it as my conditions of worth. I hear it from the opinions of others, yes. But you work hard, then you are good. If you get first rank, then you are smart. Those are the introjected values. But do I make it as a conditions of worth? No, I work hard, but I do not receive the expected rank or the expected success. Does it mean immediately that I say I'm not worthy? I'm not good at? This introjected values also is like destructive criticism sometimes. So it is I who have to judge. Yes, I feel if you work hard, you are smart. Yes, I will work hard. Yet I remain prepared for the worst. If something that happens unexpected, it is fine. But do I have a chance to grow? Yes, of course, I have a chance to grow. So if you ask me, the positive or negative, psychological frustration can take away our energy. We don't need to make all the introjected values that we hear from the opinions of others as our belief. If you and I feel that it is going to help me, take it. Otherwise, just ignore it.
Thank you, sister. Yeah? Okay. So nice of you. Yeah.
So
Yes,
as
yes,
Father Bala has requested, all of us are work in progress, but still we hold that light, the spark that is in us. We want to radiate to others, and this beautiful line, I would like to sing it as a prayerful wishes for all the participants, and as a conclusion. This little guiding light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little guiding light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little guiding light of mine, I'm going to let it shine all the time, let it shine. There is a little lamp burning in me, I'm going to let it shine. There is a little lamp burning in me, I'm going to let it shine. There is a little lamp burning in me, I'm going to let it shine all the time, let it shine. I have hope and love for myself, I'm going to let it shine. I have hope and love for myself, I'm going to let it shine. I have hope and love for myself, I'm going to let it shine all the time, let it shine. And finally, the self-image, the self-esteem, the ideal self that we have, let it bring the vision and dream for ourselves and the world. Let us give back to the universe that what the universe give us. I hold visions and dreams for the world. I'm going to let it shine. I hold visions and dreams for the world. I'm going to let it shine. I hold visions and dreams for the world. I'm going to let it shine all the time. Let it shine. Let it shine all the time. Let it shine. Let's all shine from within, my friends, and that's our wish and prayers for you. Thank you.
Sister Sherly, it's awesome. It's awesome. Before I request my colleague Mr. Krishnarjan to propose a vote of thanks, all participants, please, the feedback is posted in chat bar. Please fill up the feedback form. Now I request Mr. Krishnarjan, who is a colleague of in my department, to propose vote of thanks. Over to Mr. P. Krishnarjan.
Sir, I don't think so. He's here, so you go ahead.
Yeah, Father, I think you can propose it.
So, dear friends, and this is the end of our session, and I'm glad that we had this beautiful session presented by Father Libin and Sister Sherly. We are very grateful to you for spending a lot of your time in preparing these beautiful slides, and we apologize some of the slides could not be shown at the end, but on the whole we can see the beautiful slides that you have prepared and a lot of hard work. And thank you for showing your care and concern for our young people, for our students, and your best wishes and your good words and your insightful thoughts. I'm sure will go a long way for our young students and all the participants who have taken part in this webinar. So I also would like to thank Father Victor Emmanuel for providing this opportunity for the college to collaborate with SJ. And also two of these gentlemen, Dr. Sahai Bhaskaran, technically assisting us to go live on YouTube streaming. So thank you very much, sir, for all your cooperation and support. And also would like to thank in a special way Dr. Samuel Dayakar, sir, the political science department, and for collaborating with the SJ with me. And it is a great success, I must say, and lots of beautiful comments from this, and I'm sure it is going to be watched by many more people, and we wish that it is beneficial. Our whole interest is that some of the participants or whoever would like to view this presentation and gain something and have a positive approach to their own self, and that is what our wish is. And we have done our bit now. Let the rest be done by God and the others. And all the participants, wherever you are watching, whenever you are watching, God's blessings upon all of you. Bye for now, and we close it.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you, Father, and thank you, sister, for your cooperation and excellent presentation. We are really blessed. We are really blessed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
Very much. God bless us.
Thank you, Dr. Sahai Bhaskaran, for your kind help and support.
thank you, sister. It was a very nice
Um,
presentation. Really,
Thank
very
you.
useful, very fruitful for all the students. It will be live on YouTube. It is also available. You can even same link will be available for years to come. Okay.
Yeah, just to admit, we were very relaxed and it all went on very smoothly. It's because of your assistance. I
Okay.
acknowledge that.
Great. Thank you, sister. Thank you.
Dr. Sai Bhaskaran is really shining.
Yes,
Now,
Shining has
SB, no.
come
Can you share
within.
your mantra? What is the secret behind this?
Shining has come within after the lecture.
His good heart, his good heart.
He has
Absolutely,
already
absolutely.
shined.
Yeah,
Shining.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Shining has come additionally also.
What I,
Thank
what
you.
I,
Thank
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 you.
you.
you,
Thank
Father
you.
Bala, for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So further, we keep this open for a few more
Few
minutes so
minutes.
that the link
Absolutely.
will be available. If I close,
Yeah.
everything will be closed.
yeah, now all of us can close it
Yeah.
or
Please post the link further. Is it over?
Yeah, I think we have posted the link. We have posted the link.
Just check once.
One second.
Yeah. Once everything link is taken by all, then we can close.
That sir, we'll wait for 5 minutes, sir, so
Yeah.
that everybody takes the link.
Yeah.
For 5 minutes,
yeah,
we
you go ahead. I'm going for prayer. Can I go? Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, fine. You can go ahead. And totally about 150 participated, sister. Yeah. Right now, one are there in line.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So please post the link. Once everything is okay, then we will close.
1 second, I will check it out once again.
Yeah, all are asking for link. Dayakar sir, link పెట్టేశారా?
Sir, it is posted in the, it is already posted. It is there even in the WhatsApp group also.
Oh, okay. WhatsApp group is better, right?
Yeah, WhatsApp group. It is posted in the WhatsApp group. That link will be sent to the mails also.
Okay, fine.
It has been put even in the chat box also.
Okay, so we'll close now.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Sahib Askan, for your
Yeah, welcome.
wonderful help.
Welcome,
Huh?
Dayakar. Nice.
So nice of you.
Session.
Nice.
Enjoy. Learn some
Yeah.
points. Good.
Yes,
Can you
yes.
post here also? Just I'll make sure whether it comes. I just want to try.
Yeah, 1 second.
No, this is only experimentation. I just want to try whether link will
Where it won't be posted? Where?
in the chat box.
Yeah, 1 second.
Now, this is new for me. I just want to try whether link can be posted. I think it must be posted, but
SB, 1 second.
yeah. Where is the stream?